when we protest, a lot of people end up terrible. What I mean by that is that, they end up in the hospital, right? They end up in the graveyard, right? They do a lot of crazy things out here, right? But for some reason, the French are absolutely colorful with their protests, guys. This is not the first time I've seen something like this, guys. We're going to actually see what this is about here. French farmers erect concrete walls and dump manure outside of government offices, guys. Let's do it. Let's immediately jump into this, guys.
Staying with France, hypocrisy is not their only problem. They're also dealing with public anger, especially from their farmers. French farmers have taken to the streets again. They're driving their tractors down various cities. They're dumping hay and manure outside government buildings. And they're also building walls, concrete walls, outside government offices. Now, this is a symbolic gesture to express their anger at an impending trade deal. This is a deal between Europe and South America. It's a free trade agreement. It has been in the works for 25 years. It would create one of the largest free trade zones in the world, but the French farmers are not happy about any of this.
I mean, free trade is really good for, let's say, the country in its entirety, but generally it does, in fact, affect more so people that are like this, right? The farmers, the ones who have been, for the most part, growing the economy for many, many years. But free trade means that they're going to be undercut in every single aspect. That is, in fact, not the greatest thing, specifically for the farmers, but it sounds like it would be really good for the country and the overall local economy. That's generally how that works, guys, right? It creates balance, let's say. Right. But let's see. Let's continue.
Our next report tells you why.
French farmers are out in full force. They have donned yellow beanies, boarded their tractors, and they're marching towards government buildings all over France.
And isn't this again?
Camps outside some of the offices, building bonfires and cooking French sausages, and sending that smell over to the government buildings nearby. Other offices aren't as lucky, though.
Flaming manure?
Protesting farmers have brought other things with them, like hay and liquid manure. They're setting the hay ablaze and then dousing it with the manure. That also sends quite the smell into the government buildings, but of a very different kind.
Right.
And the newest type of farmer protest took place in Paris outside France's National Research Institute for Agriculture, Food and Environment.
But you have to mortar it.
The farmers brought concrete blocks with them and started building a wall outside the institute's gate.
All right, so the cops are just standing there just watching this then, right? They can't just be like, hey, listen, you're not going to put me into a corner, right? You can't stop them. But listen, I will say though, again, the French are and have always been excessively colorful, let's say, whenever they do protest. But at least mortar it
together and erected a wall that was almost 6 feet high.
Okay.
And then they spray painted this. It's a pun changing the word environment to scam, because that is what the French farmers feel.
Okay.
They feel they've been scammed by environmental regulations.
I mean, bro,
Europe
all farmers
is on the verge of signing a deal with some South American countries. It's a free trade agreement between the European Union and Mercosur. Mercosur is a South American regional trade bloc comprising of Brazil, Argentina, Bolivia, Uruguay, and Paraguay.
Right.
The EU has been working on a deal with them for about 25 years. Negotiations began in the year 1999.
That imagery was shot basically at, one second.
The EU.
Yeah, the Rock of Gibraltar, by the looks of it, guys. We have Gibraltar proper, let's say. And to the left of this, basically right here, you can see a small section. That would be La Linea.
Who has been working on a deal with them for about 25 years. Negotiations began in the year 1999. And a draft deal was announced back in 2019. Mercosur is meeting next month on December 5th and 6th, and it hopes to finalize the deal. Most of Europe is on board. They want the deal to be done too. But France is a notable holdout because French farmers do not want this deal.
Of course not.
French farmers believe a free trade agreement with South American nations will destroy their livelihoods.
It would, instantly. Because the problem is that if you have the ability to basically be a monopoly, be able to charge the consumers whatever you desire, and then I don't know, some foreign nation comes in through some type of free trade agreement and says, "Listen, we have that same fruit. We'll give it to you at a less of a cost, and you can have it all year round." Right? That's basically what they're fighting against. They're fighting against the ability to have a watermelon in basically January, let's say. That's it. That's what they're doing. Again, for themselves, they will suffer. In fact, but I'm not sure the country of France would suffer.
French farmers have been abiding by European agricultural standards. They are forbidden from using certain pesticides or growth hormones. This is to ensure the safety of European crops and meat and more natural and healthier produce.
That's also very valid.
But that also makes them more expensive. So what happens when cheap pesticide and hormone-filled South American goods flood the European markets?
Right.
How will farmers in France and the rest of Europe compete?
Okay, so I get it. And that is something that is incredibly valid. Because, again, guys, I live half the year in Spain. And I can definitely tell you that basically everything is better there. The quality of food is up there, guys. The water is better. Basically, if you put it into your body, it is better than anything in the United States of America is basically able to produce, unfortunately. I can tell you I eat the same in Spain as I eat in the United States of America. In Spain, I will literally eat the same thing and lose weight, right? Versus in the United States of America, where I can guarantee there's like a 25 to 30 pound difference that I generally hold on to in the United States of America versus Spain. So I get it. I mean, listen, quality of food, it's going to be more expensive, but again, monopolies need to generally be busted consistently. Now, for the health of the country themselves, I can imagine you want to have the freshest ingredients consistently. You want to make sure you're not utilizing any of the craziness that we use in the United States of America. I get that, right? But there comes a time where every single industry is going to get busted just completely apart, guys. It is what it is. And farming is one of these industries that are kind of monotonous, guys. You can have one person basically handling a machine ran by AI. That's what's going to be the future of farming. It sounds like everyone around the world needs to start getting into position to get ready, at least, for their jobs to be taken over by AI. I would say truck drivers are also in this here, guys. Definitely. All right. There are a lot of agencies, let's say, that will be completely taken over in some way in the next 10 years. Okay. So in fact, get ready for that. Do not hold on to what's going on right now. But bro, we got to do better. Right. But let's continue.
A lot of them probably won't be able to, and that is why they are protesting.
Right.
They feel the EU-Mercosur deal will destroy their industry.
They will. Immediately.
France is the EU's agricultural powerhouse. French farmers are responsible for about 1/5 of the bloc's agricultural output.
I mean, this and Plastic City in the south of Spain.
Deal with Mercosur. That's why they are the ones protesting the most. The French government, too, wants to change the terms of the deal. French lawmakers from every party want changes to the agreement or scrap it altogether. But their hands are tied. It's not up to them alone. This is an EU-wide deal, so they will need support from other countries to block the agreement.
They're not going to get it.
So far, France has support from Poland, Austria and the Netherlands. But even then, they don't have the numbers to stop the deal.
As I'm telling you, they're not going to get it. Not in the EU.
That is why the French farmers are resorting to ever more elaborate protests. They hope that by building enough pressure, their voices will be heard and the rest of Europe will notice their plight.
No. Guys, firstly, Spain will never side with you. I get it. I get it. I understand. All right. It sucks absolutely to be in the market that factually is going to be taken over, right? It sucks. I get that, bro. But I'm going to tell you this right now. It's not going to stop the globalization specifically of this industry. It's not going to. All right. And I can't. And the problem is that, again, living in Spain, you kind of get the air. You can kind of smell the air in a sense when people talk about France, and sometimes they're not very liked, and that's kind of the problem. If you think that Spain is going to side with you in basically anything, that's not happening. I expect the Netherlands, that's in Austria. I definitely expect these places to also side almost exclusively due to them being absolute producers in terms of this. I expect that. Now in the south of Spain, they have something called Plastic City. I forgot the name of the actual name of it. I think it's somewhere near Almeria, in Costa del Sol, not Costa del Sol, like further out, guys, further out, going towards Barcelona, but still kind of before Valencia. You'll realize instantly that they also are producers there, guys, right? But I don't know. I mean, this industry, unfortunately, sadly, is going to suffer from globalization. But guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I do absolutely enjoy, though. I will say, though, I've always respected how the French protest. Okay, I've always respected it. I never respected their food, but I've always respected specifically how the French protest is so colorful, guys. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. This is my lightsaber. Hey guys, you guys subscribe to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Oh, also, Mr. L. Boyd Discusses. Guys, check it out. And if you haven't heard it today, you're amazing.